A climber trapped on the face of a mountain fights off 4 killers stood on an overhanging ledge 20 feet above her. Yes, this is the new 2022 movie, The Ledge. And here's my review. Okay, so this film I sat down and watched last night. I thought, why not? You know, the concept seemed interesting enough to lure me in. So, yeah, this film's just come out. Okay, it runs for 1 hour and 26 minutes and is directed by Howard J. Find, who is no one of him great importance to talk about. He's directed a few little bits, but nothing to write home about. Which brings me on to the writer, Tom Boyle. Same can be said for him. Yep. So let's skip over those two. Now, the film stars Brittany Ashworth as a character named Kelly. She's your primary character within the film. She's been in nothing of consequence, but she did have a role in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. I don't know what part she played in it or how big that role was. I have seen that film, but that's another story. Ben Lamb also stars. He's the main antagonist, shall we say. He was in Divergent and Now You See Me Too, but I'm guessing that his role may have been smaller than that. I don't know. It may not have been. It may have been quite big. I don't know, but it could have been a case of Do You See Me? I don't know. He plays Joshua, the scumbag of the piece. Now, it's got a very small cast. It's got a cast of 7 people. But these are your primary 2. The others are just, you know, she's got a friend called Sophie. He's got 4 mates with him, and you've got a geezer in flashback scenes. Yeah, so basically, you've got these 2 young American girls, and they're in this cabin in Italy, and they're wanting to climb this mountain. Now, the reason they're climbing this mountain is because Kelly, she lost her to-be fiance on this mountain about a year before, and this is the anniversary of that. This comes to pass later on in the film. You find this stuff out, but you know, that's unimportant. I'm telling you now. A jeep pulls up with these 4 guys in, again Americans, who are there to climb the mountain as well. They're sort of like on a retreat, a holiday, so to speak, get away from things. One of them connects with Kelly's friend Sophie, goes over and chats to her, invites her over to a little party that they're having. And yeah, lo and behold, obviously Kelly's not interested because she's mourning the loss of her fiance, shall we say. So she's uninterested, but Sophie goes along and she gets it on with this guy and, you know, starts kissing him around a campfire and this sort of thing. Then she wanders off into the woods to, no doubt, relieve herself, shall we say, toilet-wise. He follows her and a little, you know what he wants. You know, it's obvious, and she ain't willing, and they get into a bit of a skerfuffle, and they get hands-on, shall we say. She scratches him, all this sort of stuff, and she legs it, and ultimately she falls off of this while being chased by the 4 guys, him and his friends. She falls off of a sort of ravine and hurts herself down below, and she's badly injured. They go down to well, I won't say they go down to help her, they go down and they kill her. Basically, they smash her head in with, or Joshua does, with a rock, and puts blood on everyone else so that they're implicit in this going on. Kelly, while this is going on, has heard the screams and she's come out to investigate and she's got a camcorder with her just in time to film them throwing her body over further down. And thus a chase ensues in which she's got her climbing gear and she starts climbing this mountain. And they decide to chase her up. One guy does, but inevitably he falls and he injures his leg and this sort of thing, and they cart him back to the little hut that they're in, and they head off to chase her again. That she's lost some of her climbing gear because it happened in the fray with the geezer that was chasing her. They know that she's ain't going to get very far because of the cold and this sort of a thing, but they head up after her to a point on the mountain where they can divert and like a donkey path, so to speak, and track their way up above her onto this thing, this ledge that pokes out, and she gets there and she clambers on this little nook that's underneath the ledge. So they're up above, she's down there, and the rest of the film is based at this location on the cliff, they can get to her by hanging over, but you know, this sort of a thing, and it goes on like that. And they do things to try and entice her out. They lower themselves down to try and get her. All this sort of stuff goes on. As the film progresses, Joshua, he goes a bit more unstable, killing some of his friends and this sort of a thing, until it's only her and him left. And obviously they have a fight, and yeah, lo and behold, Joshua falls to his death. So that's the film in a nutshell. So it was an intriguing concept. It drew me in. Interesting enough story. The 1 hour and 26 minutes flew by. It didn't bore, but the film was rather cheap in a sense. Unfortunately, I never got a sense of acrophobia from the film. A sense of that they were at any height, or you know, your stomach's up in your chest because you're afraid that they're going to fall. No, it did. When they got to the ledge part of the cliff, you know, it's obvious that they're in this sound stage, and when you do see height, you know, which is very few and far between, it looks fake. It looks incredibly fake. It doesn't look very good at all. And alternatively, when they start climbing a mountain, I never get the sense that they're climbing anything smaller than, anything larger than about 40 foot. That they're never off the ground at a great height or anything like this. So the film fails in that sense. The two characters are interesting. Kelly's likeable, you know, and Joshua is just a complete and utter scumbag that you want to see killed off. He's, you know, he's that type of a character. He's a really nasty piece of work, and you get this from the get-go at the start of the film. And you know, you get story elements throughout the film about his history and the things that he's done, because there is talk of it, and yeah, so he's got a past as well, and his mates are sort of implicit in this past that's occurred. So yeah, it works in that sense. The story's fine, the characters are fine, but it just drops the ball on these scenes at height. You know, it doesn't give you that sense of fear that you know, they're ever in any real danger of falling, because you yourself as a viewer is not getting the sense of acrophobia that you should be getting from a film when someone's at height with the fear and danger of a drop. So it doesn't necessarily stand up there. The film's competently directed. I can't really remember the musical score to it. That's something that I've come away from the film not even noticing, so it can't have been that good. But on the whole, you know, for 90 minutes, a throwaway film, a one-time watch, it was enjoyable enough. Yeah, can I recommend it? It's not a great film, but it's not a boring film. And it does its job. Just unfortunately, like I said, it was too cheap to get these effects and the actual cliff side of it looking particularly great, where it gave you, the viewer, a sense of fear and dread. But yeah, but no, I didn't mind watching it. One-time watch. If you've seen it, or if you're going to see it, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Oh my God, I'm really tired. But yeah, so that's it. This is AJ. Thanks for watching. Please consider hitting the subscribe button, hitting the notification bell, leave me a comment. I do reply to all comments, all that sort of stuff, and come back and join me again with something else. There's always reviews, there's always Blu-ray openings, things like this. Yeah, just come and join me. Take care all, goodbye.